I really like the 5 metre long poles attached to the skids. I've also added longer skids fore and aft. This has made a huge difference to the feel of safety in hover testing. I'm getting there with the control of the yaw pedals. It's starting to get instinctive, but I still occasionally get it the wrong way. The throttle stroke outer tube control is also getting better, but more practice is needed on this. Although I've been practicing in very little to no wind, the slightest gust will affect it. It's quite surprising that with a combined helicopter and pilot weight of nearly 1/4 of a tonne, that the wind still has this much effect. Huge respect to the pilots that have to hold helicopters in a still hover while the wind is gusting. It must take a lot of skill. Now I came to a bit of a brick wall in progress, and I must have tried hovering 20 times and got nowhere. I went home and looked at the footage to see what I was doing wrong. I was perfectly aware of new pilots over controlling, but that still didn't stop me. Looking back at the footage, it was obvious that every time I had to correct, it was too much. I don't know why instinctively many new pilots over control even when they're aware of the issue. The next day I told myself I'm going to make what I would consider under controlling corrections and see what happens. The difference was instant, and I immediately realised that it was going to be possible to fly this machine with practice. These realisations can be quite overwhelming. Your heart rate goes up and you have to sit down and take in what's just happened. It's happened to me in various stages in this project. For example, first spinning up the drive to full RPM, first spinning the blades up to full RPM, seeing the first lift generated, lifting off completely, and then finally realising I'm going to be able to fly this thing. I sit down in amazement sometimes, not quite believing what's just happened. Yeah, you may have won this round. I need to sort something for these Audi A4 CV boots. The reason there's none on there is they can't take the RPM. The boots wouldn't normally be exposed to more than 2000 RPM, but the shaft is running at 5500. The guys at the Audi parts department can't understand why they keep breaking. They think I drive at some very high speeds. It has been suggested in the comments before about making some leather boots. That may be possible, but they have to be balanced in their construction. I bought an hour meter to fit. I should have fitted one earlier than this, then I could have seen how many hours the broken drive part lasted, but never mind. I'm going to move the pedals forward to fine tune the CG and so that I can better steady my arm. This will help the cyclic control. There's a rose joint to replace which hasn't lasted very long, better quality next time I think. I noticed some vertical vibration only during a wind gust. This is normally related to blade tracking. I haven't done any rotor tracking yet as I haven't had any vibration issues, but it would be a good idea to check it. Two methods I know of for rotor tracking. One is the cardboard on a stick method, marking the blade tips with different coloured crayon, running the blades to near lift-off, and an assistant touches the cardboard on the end of the blades. Not keen on that one. And the other using reflective tape on the blades and shining a light to reflect off the tape, giving a visual identification of whether the blades follow each other in the same track. There has been quite a lot of comments about the fixed pitch rotor system removing the possibility of auto-rotation in an engine failure. The purpose of this machine was to be able to hover at only a few feet above the ground, just as a fun field vehicle. I don't think in this situation collective pitch would be a big advantage. If I wanted to go higher, perhaps operating in the dead man's curve, then collective pitch wouldn't be my first choice either. A separate redundant power source would probably be the safest configuration. If I wanted to fly above 50 feet, then collective would be the solution, perhaps in combination with a redundant power source. I feel significant progress has been made in hovering, but I still can't hold a hover for more than about 6 seconds. This figure will gradually increase with practice now that the over-controlling issue is being worked on.